collaboration is key. I mean, really, when people get siloed and they stay in their own lane and they only do like their own thing and they're not looking out at can other people help me with this and how can I help other people, that's when we find that they really struggle.
Hi there, and welcome to the Build with BBB podcast. My name's Casey Farmer. I'm our Vice President of Marketing for BBB serving Central Oklahoma. We are relaunching our Build with BBB podcast, and so we thought we would start off with an interview with our CEO, Kitt Letcher. Kitt, welcome.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So for those of you who maybe aren't familiar or maybe caught a few episodes in the past, our BBB podcast is really designed to bring on local business owners, talk to them about what they're working through in their businesses, highlight some of the great things they're doing in their community, talk about what we do here at BBB, what our team is, what our culture looks like, leadership, development, community impact, all of those things. That's what we'll be talking about on the Build with BBB podcast.
Yeah, we're excited about that. And you know, one of the reasons, like way back when we originally launched the podcast, one of the things that we wanted to do was really highlight all the different areas in which BBB makes an impact, because a lot of times when we're talking to people, they're like, oh, I didn't even realize you had people here in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that it wasn't like this huge call center in a large city in another state. Or they'll say, I never knew that you did those programs, or I never knew that you help businesses this way. So there's a lot of kind of rumors and myths and things that people do think about BBB. So we wanted to use this as a platform to really talk about how we help businesses and how we can be a resource and a connector. And I think that's one of the fun things that I loved about when we interviewed BBB accredited businesses in the past and the ones that we're looking forward to talking to in the future. It's, you know, seeing things from their lens, like how are they operating their business? Like how did they get started? Because for a lot of people, it looks different. So learning from those different experiences, you know, how are they doing it the best that they possibly can? What mistakes did they make? We've certainly made plenty here at BBB that we've learned from, and it's like, okay, when we do that again, here's how we'll do that in the future, which has been helpful because, you know, we're all human, we're doing the best that we can. So how do we really learn from those experiences and then help other people learn from those experiences too? So I think those are some of the things that I'm most excited about hearing from and interviewing people on this podcast.
And I'll adding to that what you just said about learning from the experiences of other business owners. I think too, from a more personal perspective, that's something that, at least for me in the roles that I've been here at BBB, where I've learned the most in talking one-on-one with businesses, what they're working on, what they're struggling with, and really gives me a better worldview of what that looks like. What does local commerce look like here in Oklahoma City? Right. And how are these people working through all of these issues to make it better?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, we talked for most people, they don't know that 90% of the businesses that we have accredited are small business owners. So they're like that 1 to 10 sized employees, businesses. And so those owners are wearing every single hat. And the way they run their business looks really different from one to the other. So what can we learn from each one to make a difference that we can take that little tidbit and implement it into different roles and organizations that we're a part of?
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about this when we were trying to figure out what were we going to make this kind of first podcast back. What did we want to talk about? And part of that being that this podcast has really evolved from what we had originally, you know, thought and planned it was going to be. Was it 2020?
Yeah.
Or 2019?
Yeah. Oh, it was. Well, I think 2018 is when we really wanted to start it. We called it the year of the podcast, and it did not happen at all. And then we just kept putting it on the back burner because we did not have enough bandwidth to actually do it. And so then we grew our marketing department. We had like 4 people in our marketing and communications department, which was amazing. We'd never had that many people before in that specific role and department. And so that's when we actually had the bandwidth to launch it and figured out that we had done too much. Like, we made it a bigger thing than it really needed to be, which actually is not true to the core values of our organization and how we run BBB. So we really, after we got it launched and we started, you know, having shows and doing interviews and everything, and then realized, oh my gosh, we've created this kind of Goliath out of something that was meant to be more organic and more kind of genuine and authentic to us. those things didn't really match. And so we put it on pause and scaled everything back, including the number of people that we actually have on our marketing team. And so, Casey, you're our lone marketing person. But I think it really goes back to learning from mistakes. And while I don't feel like having 4 people was a mistake, I think it was just a learning opportunity more than anything else, because we did do so many things that we've always wanted to do. So it was a tremendous opportunity. And from that, we figured out, really, for us, like, how do we do it in a way that's really frugal, it's really organic, and where we leverage our connections and our relationships to be successful, and use those collaborative skills that we have to be successful, rather than spending more money to be successful. And that's where we're really looking forward to taking this, I think, in the next step.
If you've been a part of BBB for a long time, if you've attended a lot of our events or programs that we've done in the past, in 2018, we did our Trust Talk series, and before that. And we brought on and partnered with local business owners to share their expertise about a certain field. It could have been operations, marketing, sales. And though we tried to do that in so many different ways, finally I think you brought it to a meeting and said, can we just kill it? Like, is it time to just kill it?
Yeah.
Nobody's coming. We're putting in all this effort. So that's kind of a goal here for the podcast, is we want to transform maybe that content and provide it to business owners in a way that they can listen to it at their leisure.
Yeah. And that was a really hard decision, because we had people who kept coming to us and asking for trainings and specific things. I had a meeting today with somebody who, again, was like, I want to provide training, and I also want to see training in these areas. And so we get that request all the time.
We still do, all the time.
And we thought it was going to be really successful. And ironically, during COVID was when it was the most successful, and when we were doing webinars and everything was on Zoom, because people could log in really easily to find it. Everybody was doing Zoom, so that was easier. Like, everybody was used to it. You could do it on your own timetable because we were recording them. And so when we came back to the office and we were doing things in person and decided to take away the Zoom portion, is when it fell kind of flat on its face again.
Right again,
I was like, why can we not get this to stick? Because we were doing the topics, and we had the presenters, like everything that people wanted and told us that they wanted us to do, we were doing that. And about this, to your point, because we can do that type of content that people can just access whenever it's right for them.
Yeah.
And still utilizing the strength of our businesses, because we've got some really knowledgeable people who want to share their expertise.
Yeah, which makes us excited, because it's, for the past, I'll say, like, since I came back on board, I've had probably 10 conversations with business owners who say, I want to share what I'm doing with your community. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to do lunch and learn again. Listen,
I've learned my lesson.
Too much work. And not that I don't want to, because I could see the value in it, and I could see where business owners can get some great content out of it. But at the end of the day, like, we have seen, it's not worth our time.
Yeah.
We can put it into something else.
Like this.
Yeah. Like this. So I guess, tell us what you want to hear on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Helpful.
And if you do, then listen. It's like, hop on and listen or download. That would be super helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say. So something else I'm really excited about is we do 2 big events during the year. One being the upcoming Revere and Revel, which will happen in September. Super excited about that. And then the other one being Big Blue Bash, which happens in May. And those are 2 like completely opposite ends of the spectrum as far as events. And so leading into Revere and Revel, we will have a full day of speakers. And I am so excited, because I know we're going to have on some of the speakers before the event. So if you're listening to the podcast, you will get kind of a preview of what they're going to talk about at that event. So it'll be a way to not only introduce them, but introduce their content, the things that they're going to talk about, and really prepare our audience members to come to Revere and Revel with even more knowledge of what those presenters are going to be talking about that day. So I think that's really exciting.
And the more exciting thing is that
and wait, there's more.
The even better thing is, as we're heading into this 3rd year of Revere and Revel, which is crazy, right? Because it happened we should do a women's conference. We don't know what it's going to look like, but we should do one.
Yeah.
Which I think is the great thing about working here at BBB, like, again, from a personal perspective, is, like, nothing is off limits until, like, we've done it a million times and like maybe we should do it again.
We've tweaked it enough to know either it's working or it's not.
Yeah. But the women's conference, we haven't brought on those speakers to do podcast interviews before, which is great because these ladies are amazing.
Yes.
And the stories that they're sharing, the businesses that they're working on, the ideas that they have that are really shifting our community is pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all comes from a place of being genuine and authentic and wanting to make an impact in a really positive way.
Yeah, that's part of our core values.
Yeah.
So for all of the ladies who are interested and men who support women doing great things, our Revere and Revel conference is going to be on September 20th at Moore Norman Technology Center on the South Penn campus.
Yeah, super excited.
Yeah.
Tickets are really affordable. They're $75 a person, and we still have some tables available. So if people want to get a table for their whole team, certainly can. We've got some great catering coming from Neil's Catering, which I'm super excited about. And so it should be a really great day.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll tease here is please nominate the amazing women in your life for our 2023 Woman of Integrity Award. Because it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
We partner with a local artist. We partner with a local artist to have the award made. It's beautiful, and the meaning behind the award is so special. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so some of the core values that I talked about for BBB is being genuine, authentic, walking the talk, making sure that you are living the values in which you hold dear for your business. And so we just put all this together and wanted women to be nominated who live those values in their everyday business and who show up that way. And so we've had 2 amazing recipients, Andriana Woodland and Amy Singleton have both won this award, and the things that they are doing in our community, I think, just exude like grace and compassion and thoughtfulness and strategy and all the things we want to see as far as business and how we can just as business owners and as individuals, make a huge impact in our community. And so those ladies definitely embody a woman of integrity. And I know that award has been really meaningful for them. And I'm excited because at Revere and Revel, they are coming back to talk about what that award means to them. So that'll be really, really neat. And just, talking about how do we honor and celebrate women, not only like in the workplace, but in leadership roles and how they're able to show up every day and do the great work that they're doing and being the example for our community.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that nominating woman, check out our BBB socials at BBB Central OK. So we'll see you in the next podcast interview.
Until we come up with a catchy tagline. It's not going to happen today.